Today we are going to learn about re-inking your ink pad. One little tip, it's always good to buy a re-inker when you purchase your ink pad. And bear in mind, not all stores sell re-inkers. We do, and it's important to keep your pad inked for good stamping. So here we go. All right, let's get started. I'm going to start with the Kaleidacolor pad, which has 5 individual little pads, and here it is, a rainbow pad. These are small pads, so they will, if you use these pads frequently, you will need to re-ink them regularly. On the back of the pad, it lists the numbers for the re-inkers, and so this is real simple. You're going to squeeze just a little bit up and down. You don't want to put too much on this, just a little bit back and forth. Because when you put too much ink on an ink pad, it starts to ooze out the sides and gets really soppy and will not stamp cleanly. The ink will pool on the rubber stamp, and that's just not what we want. So this is a real easy task. I recommend that you re-ink your ink pads regularly. It will keep them healthy and happy. They will last longer, and frequently the re-inker costs about the same price, maybe a little less, maybe a little more than the ink pad itself. So for the money, you get a long life with your ink pad. The Ranger re-inker, the Distress re-inkers, are actually a bottle with an eyedropper, and so I always do a good squeeze, fill up my eyedropper, and then I do a little circle on the pad. And you will notice that this ink is sitting on top. So I'm going to sort of spread it in. I'm using Ranger's Craft Scraper. You can use a palette knife, just something non-abrasive to spread the ink in. I'm rotating the pad as I go, sort of like buttering your toast or putting mayonnaise on a sandwich, frosting the cake, whatever makes sense to you to remember to spread in the ink. That's it. Just one little quick squirt. I'm going to grab a baby wipe here to clean off my craft scraper because I will need it for my next pad that I'm going to show you. So once again, another use for your craft scraper. The Brilliance re-inkers and the Brilliance pads. Brilliance is a wonderful, it's a thick ink. And by the way, these pads come with an inner lid. Keep that lid. It helps keep your pad moist. And this is another ink, sort of like the Distress ink. It sits on top. And so I just do a little zigzag along the top there, along the pad. And now I'm going to take my craft scraper again and spread it in so that it gets evenly spread in the pad. And putting both lids on, that pad is ready to go. And I've got one more here to do. We're going to do the Adirondack, which is another fabric pad. So of these 4 pads we've been playing with, the Kaleidacolors, the Distress, the Adirondack are all fabric. The Brilliance is a high density foam. It is not an open loose foam. And the importance with that, some of the inexpensive pads are open loose foams. They don't hold ink well. They will cause you think something's wrong with your rubber stamp. In reality, you're not getting a good application of ink from that open foam. So high density foam or fabric are your best. All right, again, this is just a zigzag back and forth to re-ink that. And that's it. On the Adirondacks, it soaks right in. There. Done in just a couple of minutes. My pads are re-inked. We're ready to go for the day. Enjoy. Thanks for joining us.